Good to be with you. I'm DuBose Porter. I'm from Dublin, Georgia, and I'm running for governor on the Democratic ticket for 2010. And I'm here to talk about Jekyll Island, one of our really special places in this state. Over the past 4 years, I've served on the Jekyll Island Foundation, which is the group that set up the Sea Turtle Center and has been one of the ones to extend some of the protections and do some really special things on this great place that is our state park on the coast. I've also been part of the legislative initiative to save the southern part of this great island. We did that 2 years ago at the very end of the legislature. And at the end of that, the Save Jekyll crowd awarded me this plaque, which is this hat that I can put on that was, it says, "Save the beach, save Jekyll," which is certainly something that we need to be mindful of throughout the state. It's a treasure for everybody, not just the coast. This past year before last, we also saved a very special place, which is the beach between the convention center and where the restaurant is. You know, when you think about it, this is that last place in our state where anyone, that mom with a child, that young couple, that elderly couple, everyday Georgians who could drive down to their island and get out and walk on the beach. That was what was attempted to be developed, and because of the initiative that I was a part of in the legislature, we have protected that from development in that stretch, which is one of the last great places in this state for the people. Now, what do we need to do to protect Jekyll in the future? And that's what I want to talk about. As governor, you have the appointments to the board. That is the most critical part of it, and you set the policy for that. You know, right now, we need people who are more mindful of the natural areas and aware that this is a state park, not a resort. Certainly it's a blend of things where you want people to feel welcome and be able to afford to stay there. But what we need to be mindful of is this is something that belongs to the people of Georgia. In doing that, we need to have the makeup of the board reflect that. People who know how to plan for state parks, people know the amenities for families and make it welcoming to everyday Georgians. One of the biggest issues that have come up over the last year is how to split the part of the 65% natural area to the 35% to be developed. Just because you can develop the 35% doesn't mean you have to, and that's important to remember. Something I had pointed out a couple of years ago that I wish was incorporated into more of the planning, and as governor I would certainly make sure this happened, is we need the developed area to feel like it's an extension of the natural area. And that's really important. When you take the old Millionaire's Village there now, in the early morning you can take a stroll and you'll see the deer coming out and graze in the grass. So you feel like that natural area is a part of the developed area that you're sharing with everyone and everything on that island. And it's a very special experience that is unique to Jekyll. Now, as we develop or redevelop those other parts, and certainly some of those motels have gotten so run down and mildew needing to be replaced. But when we replace those, let's do it with something better. Let's do something that has that feel of the natural area of the island that extends to what we do in development so that it blends better. And that way we protect those species there. We protect what is native there. We protect that special feeling of this special place of Jekyll Island. Now, on the southern part of the island, we need to be very mindful of the great birding and aviary opportunities there. It's a unique place for coastal birding, and that needed protecting, and needs protecting more. The 65% that is supposed to be natural areas, we're really up to a statutory agreement. What needs to happen, it would be an initiative I would do as governor, is we need to have a conservation easement. It really needs to be protected permanently because it's really not right now. We have this agreement, it's been understood, it's been statutorily set, but we need to make sure that that could never change and that what we ever do with that 35% blends and matches with the other part. That is what I think is critically needed at this special place. On the foundation, we have looked at some of the amenities that we can work with. Some of the University of Georgia's Ocean Institute is an extension of the Marine Institute in Sapelo. Certainly that's being done at the Sea Turtle Center there now, which really is a special place. If you haven't been, I invite you to go down there and take your family and visit. As a matter of fact, I think today we're releasing 3 of the turtle patients back into the ocean. But interpreting the sea turtles, the natural areas, the history of this wonderful place, if we protect it right, it'll be right for generations to come. Overdeveloping and having it too concentrated will change the nature and feel of this special place. And that's what we as public officials, that's what I would be as governor, would be most concerned about in keeping the feel of a barrier island that's the people's park, that's a state park that should be available to everyone forever. That's what we got to be mindful as we develop the policy on Jekyll Island.